Alright, so this video is going to go over this strings practice quiz number 2. It's got 5 multiple choice questions and a written question at the end. So let's look at this. We got string S1 is equal to race car, string 2 is blank, and then we do a loop where k is 1 is less than the length of the string. So if we did our indexes up here, let's do this. So I gotta line this up. We do index. So the length is 7, right? Because the length is always one more than the last index position. So 1 is less than 7. So what we'll do is we'll do 0, and then k would be 1. So that would be r right here. So r would get put into here. And if there's only one line of code after a for loop without brackets or the braces, then it runs this line of code and then it goes back up and it does the loop again. Okay, it does not do this each time right here. All right, so anyway, I wrote some of this stuff out down here, and this would probably be the best way to view this. So 1 is less than 7, so S2 would be and again, let's write this up here, race car, and let's put in the index positions. Okay, so then we go back up in the loop, we add 1 to k, then it checks to see 2 is less than 7, that's true. So we start at 0 and then we go 2 spaces, so we got RA, okay? And then we add 1 to k, it becomes 3, 3 is less than 7, so then we got 0 to 3. So 1, 2, 3 is RAC. And so we go all the way down and we run all these to where k is 6, and then, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you got race car, like you're in Boston or something, right there. And then k becomes 7. 7 is less than 7, that's false. So then you're done. So the final value for S2 is race car, okay? And again, students will get mixed up and usually pick D, and because they think that this cout is part of this for loop, which it's not. Typically what I do, and I always just use the braces so that you don't get screwed up in your thinking, because clearly then with the braces that's outside of the for loop. But with C++ and Java, that first line is the only one after the for loop that belongs to the for loop. Unless there's braces, this doesn't belong to it. It's just this one. Okay, so your answer is A. 2, consider the following method where we got quest 0409 and we pass in a string S. So quest 0409 gets past the string aardvark. We create a string T, it's blank, and then we say what the length -1. So what's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the length is 8. -1 would be 7. Is 7 greater than or equal to 0? Yes. K -1, and then we do 7, 1. And And again, this is the only thing that belongs to the for loop, so it's asking what's what's t basically at the end. Now, we're building a string here because there's a plus equal symbol here. The last one was just the last, right here, it was just the final value because it's just an equal symbol. This one's actually rebuilding a string t. So let's go down and look at this one. And again, I wrote these out, so these are easier to see when they're written out like this. So let's do the AAR D arg. Okay, so 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright, so K is 7. 7 is greater than or equals 0. That's true. Alright, so we substring 7, 1. So 7, starting at 7 with 1 is K. So K gets stored into T. Okay, then we subtract 1 from K. Right, let's just make sure. We subtract 1 from K, so K is now 6. Okay, so 6 is greater than or equal to 0, so 6 comma 1 is the R, so there's one position right there, so the R gets stripped and added into the T, so we got KR, and we do all the way down to position 0. 0 is greater than or equal to 0, so take that last A and put it on to the end here, and then K becomes -1, and -1 is not greater than or equal to 0, so the final value is this crav draw, which is basically aardvark spelled backwards. Okay, so your answer for 2 is what? Crav draw. Alright. So 3 and 4, it'd be better if I kind of started programming this thing. Practice quiz 2, yeah. Okay, yeah. I set this up so that I didn't have to spend all this time typing this out on the video. So it says, consider the following program segment. Will I do these backwards? Here, let me do this real quick. I'm gonna comment this bottom part out. Comment that out, alright. Change these back. Sorry, I was just testing this out. And going through the best ways to show you this. Alright, so we got A, B, C, D, E, F, and I think this originally was G. Alright, so let's see here. Let me make sure I got this typed out right because I was playing around with some of this stuff. A, B, C, D, F. Okay, so consider the following program segment. Now, I show there's a compare to method in or function in Java, and I didn't want to throw this question out. I just wanted to show you the compare function in C++. I'm not sure this is part of like what is in the college textbook, but that's okay. We can learn how this works anyway and learn some stuff about ASCII as well. This is actually a good question. So the way, I don't know if you guys have ever pulled up an ASCII table, but when you're comparing words, you're comparing, when you have this compare function, what it's doing is comparing the different letters in here, and it goes one at a time. So if you look at this, string S1 and S2 are the exact same until you hit this F and G. And let's look at this. So you've got your characters, your uppercase characters and your lowercase characters. Now, they're decimal values, so when I teach this function to my high school students, I say, listen, the only thing you have to memorize is that lowercase values have a higher decimal value and uppercase letters have a lower decimal value, okay? And so then when you start comparing like A to Z, A has a lower decimal value than Z, so it just goes from low to high. And same thing here, lowercase has a lowercase a has a lower decimal value than a lowercase z, so it goes again low to high as you go down. So the question is asking, what prints when I compare S1 to S2 and S2 to S1. So the simple way to memorize this thing is so these are the two. This is really what you're comparing because all of these are the same. So F to Z. F has a lower decimal value than G. So what I'll do is I'll give S1 a value of 0 because it's lower, and I go 0 minus, and then I give this the larger number 1, okay? And then let me just comment this whole line out. And then for this one, I've got, I assign S2 because it's larger G. G is 71 and F is 70. So G is larger, so I give that a 1. And then I just do a minus here and give this a 0. Okay, so 0 minus 1 is -1, and 1 minus 0 is 1. So it should give me right here -1 and 1 when I run this thing. Let me just make sure. Quiz 2 is displaying. Should be fine. I haven't run this one yet. I had a different one. I talked too soon. Let's see here. Get hint. Must return a value. I am going to comment that out for now. I don't want to deal with that. Okay, -1 and 1. Again, 0 minus 1, -1, 1 minus 0 is 1. Okay. So your answer for this one would be what? B, -1 and 1. Alright, so for this next one, let's see what it's doing. It says, consider the following program segment, string S1, string S2, we got mad and madam. So S1, it's trying to find S2 within. So is madam in mad? No. But on this one, is mad the word is mad in madam? So this should give you the no pause because it doesn't exist. So the word madam is not in the word mad. So that should give you your no POS. But the word mad is inside madam, so it should give you the position where it's found, and it's found in position 0. Okay, so you should get what? C, no pause, and 0. So let me show you this one. I'm gonna just comment this out now. Okay. Alright, so, and I also wanted to show you this too, because this is ultimately what we're going to see. Here, let me show you this real quick. Alright, so let's forget about this here real quick. So we've got this number, which is the no pause, no POS, and 0. So, again, let's look at this. S2, so madam, is not in S1, so that gives you the NPOS. But S1 mad is in Madame, and it's in position 0 right here. Now this number comes up for NPOS, but I know that if I run this, S2 is not in S1, so that is equal to this NPOS, so that's why this here prints. Okay, so I know that this right here represents the NPOS. There's no position for it, so I know that, and that's how you would test for that if it's not there. Okay, so again, let's look here. The answer would be C. Okay, so number 5, it says consider the following two methods. You got quest 5A, which accepts 2 strings, and it's doing a return, finding S2 within S1, and then quest 5B, same strings are being passed in S1, S2, and it's finding S1 inside S2. For what values of S1 and S2 is the same value returned for both methods? Whenever the first character, well, we just kind of saw that the only way they would be equal and have the same thing is if they were the exact same string. For all string values, no. For all, whenever so the answer would be E here. So the only way you could find, if both of these were mad, M-A-D, then you would find mad, and then you would find mad and mad up here. So that would be the only way that would work. So your answer for that is E. Okay. So, alright, so we got one of these. This is actually, I don't know which AP question this is, but this is one of the written AP questions for one of the previous tests in the Java class. But we'll do it for C++ because it works too. It says, consider a guessing game in which a player tries to guess a hidden word. The hidden word contains only capital letters and has a length known to the player. A guess contains only capital letters and has the same length as the hidden word. So they have to have the same lengths. After a guess is made, the player is given a hint that is based on a comparison between the hidden word and the guess. Each position in the hint contains a character that corresponds to the letter in the same position in the guess. The following rules determine the characters that appear in the hint. Alright, so if the letter in the guess is also in the same position as the word, the matching letter. Okay, so for like here, A exists, so here's your guess, and here's the word. So the word is harps. So A is right here in position 1. So in the same position, so that's where the A. So right here, hello and harps, the H would display right there. Also in the hidden word, but in a different position. So the plus symbol means that, so like for instance, this A is in position 0. It's in the word harps, but it's not in the right position. So you would do a plus symbol on it, okay? So like right here, an A and an R, A and R are in harps, but they're in different positions than, the A and R and heart are in different positions than in harps, okay? And the star symbol represents it's not in the word at all. So the E does not exist in the word harps. The L and the O and hello do not exist in the word harps. Okay. The hidden word class will be used to represent the hidden word in the game. The class contains a method getHint that takes a guess in a hidden word and produces a hint. The following table shows several guesses. Write the complete class, including necessary. Alright. Alright, cool. So let's do this. So now I can get to this one. And I already set up a test environment right here. So I'm going to comment that out. So I set up my test environment to display what's going to return back here. Okay, so alright, so this won't be that bad. This should be pretty easy. Alright, so I'm going to say string my hint is equal to hint, and string my hidden word is equal to the hidden word. Okay, and then I'm going to say, I'm going to return an answer. I'm going to say string answer equals blank, and then I'll return the answer. Okay, so I need to do a for loop that runs through basically everything, okay? And then I'm going to have an if, an else if, and then finally an else structure. Okay, so let's think about this. So else will be this answer, answer plus equals. Okay, so I don't know, part of a strategy when you're thinking through how to do some of this stuff is to look at this and think not necessarily about the code, but the structure of it. Notice that this is an if statement. Well, first of all, notice you're going to have to go through each character here and kind of compare them to the characters in the word. Okay, and so you're going to have to do a for loop to run through every single character. So that's where this loop structure right here is going to come from. Okay. Then you look at this and you got if the letter is as the guess, so you got this if statement, else if this, else this. So else is where I'm putting that in. So that's where I have, and so I'm kind of, I don't know, I guess I'm kind of almost programming it backwards, but that's where your answer plus equals that this comes from. And this is just a strategy I use. So the way that the high school AP test is graded is they would grade these different structures, all right? And I tell my students, listen, like, it's not necessary to get the correct answer because you're writing this stuff out on a test by hand without a computer. But the idea is that you can kind of think through the structure of the program, and if you can get the structure of the program correct, then you'll get your max amount of points, even if you get the answer wrong. And so when you're first starting, a lot of it has to do more with your logic and sorry, my kid started crying, but yeah, you got to look at the logic, and the algorithm that you're going to put in. So a strategy that you could use would be to set up your structure. You got your for loop and then your if else structure. And this is the easiest one because the first one, well, the first and the last one in this case are the easiest ones for me. So anyway, to run through your loop, int I equals 0, I needs to be less than my hint dot length. And remember, the hidden word and the hint are the exact same size, so it doesn't matter which one you use. And then what, I plus plus. Okay, and so the first one, if they're equal to each other, so my hint at I is equal to, my hint dot at I, so at that character at 0 or 1 or 2 or whatever, is it equal to my hidden word dot at I? Okay, if that's equal, then the answer plus equals the my hint dot at I. Okay, so right here is that A right there in position 1 equal to the A in position 1 in harps? Yes, they're equal. So you would be building your string, and that would be A right there. Okay. So to me, this part and this part are actually the easiest part. This part's kind of hard. So this is where I would tell students, listen, like if you can get to this right here, you're going to get the max amount of points on your AP test. And the same thing goes, for this class. There's no tests. There's probably not going to be a test like this on here, but the idea is, can you get, when you're first starting off, can you get, 70, 80, 90% of the program working properly, and you get to this part and you're going, I don't really know how this works. I mean, you could even put this in here. It's going to be this plus symbol. Now you got to just think through, okay, what's this? This is going to be, and this is a little bit harder logic, but else if my hidden word dot, you need to find my hint at position I. If you find it, okay, and it is not equal to the string NPOS, meaning it's there, okay, let me see here. I feel like this is right there. There's my find. Okay, cool. So at this position, can I find that character somewhere in here? If I find the hint that A somewhere in the word and it's not equal to it actually finds it, then we just do a plus symbol in there instead, okay? And that's where I need to do a semicolon. Okay, so if I run this now, I should get the same test results as, let's see here. Okay, so I get plus A, and then the 3 pluses, H, and then, okay, yep, all of them are the same. So this code works for all the tests, okay? So again, I don't know, read through this. I don't think it's that hard of a program, but, again, we're starting to look at some, these types of programs are harder than what you have in your book. And so depending on how far you guys want to go with this, you'll have to, this would be, I think it would be harder in industry, but, maybe this would be like the way that things, I'd have to explain how the way I got paid when I was a programmer, but some of the stuff would be programs kind of like this, and you'd have an hour to complete it, and that's what you got paid, like an hour's worth of work for something like this to have it written and tested. So, this is the kind of stuff that you want to focus in, really want to do for your career. So, and all my videos I'm going to put up on YouTube so that you guys can have them even when you're not in this class if you want to come back and watch this stuff. So, anyway, this video is done.